All right, today is November 19th, 2018. It is the day after the Philly Marathon. For me, it was a PR, 2:49 and 30 seconds. PR by 3 minutes. So very happy today. Very sore today. Very tired today. I'm wearing the official race shirt that I got yesterday, the official race medal. Put this on special for the video. It's a pretty cool medal. Got the Liberty Bell. Makes a little, noise in there. Gets very annoying when you're around hundreds, if not thousands, of other runners. So I'm going to take that off, so I don't have to keep hearing that jingle. So I'm feeling good. It's less than 24 hours since my my race. Trained, really hard, really smart for this one, and I'm just happy is a quick way to sum it up. So picked this one. This was actually my 13th marathon, my fastest so far. I picked it because primarily I've been doing Boston, and that's going to be a little shadow on this video. I can't help but compare yesterday to Boston, to the World Marathon Majors. I've also done New York, and to the big city, big marathons. So I picked this one because the biggest reason is the weather. It seems like fall marathons, fall marathon season, you should have that ideal temperature around 40, 45 degrees. It's been, the last few years, just Mohawk Hudson this year, Chicago, Steamtown. It's been steamy, it's been hot, and you train for these things for, really years, but specifically for months and months. And then you get there on race day, and for the weather to not be in your favor, it's terrible. I've had it happen before in Boston. But this looked like it was going to be a really good chance of good weather, and we got it yesterday. It was 31 at the start, 38 to finish. I was very comfortable. I dressed perfectly, singlet, arm warmers, gloves, and a running baseball style hat, and shorts. It was not one of those major mega marathons like New York where there's 50,000 plus people, but it wasn't a small marathon either. I've also, for me, my particular experience, the smaller marathons I've done were, my first ever was the New Jersey Marathon, 2009, and Mohawk Hudson, the Providence, Rhode Island marathon, which was actually my first BQ. Those were the smaller marathons I've done. This was somewhere in between. So my expectations were, I knew that going in, that I was going to have a medium-sized marathon. So let me just talk for a moment, kind of back up and talk about my training. I hired a coach. I've been a coach, and I've been training myself, my own methods, for years, and I was getting nothing but PR. I've been trying to crack that 250 barrier for a while, and then I got my PR in 2016 in Boston on a kind of hot 70-degree day. Boston's a pretty hard course. I did 252, and then trained smarter, better the next year, but for the first time, I think ever, my marathon time increased. I went to 256. So I was just in a little bit of a rut with my running. I wasn't getting the PRs I had been getting, year after year. So hired a coach, Hector Matos, trained with the Leonia Track Club for over about a year and a half. Learned a lot from him, learned a lot through training with those methods. Basically, just to sum it up, it was, every Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, was a tempo type of work, whether it was intervals, whether it was go out for 5 miles at a set pace. And that was basically based off of half marathon pace. Those workouts were pretty hard, but I feel like those were crucial to my training. And then pretty much every Sunday, for especially the last 12 Sundays, not really including the taper, but they were my long runs. But it wasn't just to go out and run 20 miles, go out and run 21 miles and get the time on your feet. His philosophy, and I really agree with it, and we worked together on this training plan. There was a lot of marathon specific work within those Sunday long runs. So, for example, it might be, warm up for 4 or 5 miles at a good moderate pace. Maybe for me that was 7:45s, and then jump into 6:20, which was my goal marathon pace for 3 or 4 miles. Take maybe a mile recovery. Sometimes that wasn't even that much of a true recovery. It was 7-minute pace, and then do that again 2 times. You add that all up, and then maybe a little cool down, and you get in your 21 milers. They were not easy, but that was, I think, crucial to me getting this PR, to getting where I am. So, definitely training was different. One thing that I'm big into, and I do with all my athletes, is the strength training. It's supplemental to the running. You can't just do a marathon strength training, but a lot of body weight stuff with stability ball, physio ball, whatever you want to call that. Some light weights, nothing crazy. But one thing I can definitely say, and I feel like I've said this before, is my hamstrings. Definitely feeling the soreness today in the hamstrings, kind of more in the high hamstrings towards the glute. If I could go back and do one thing, it would probably be adding more squats, just more work on the hamstrings. That's definitely something that affected me a little bit. It was a minor. I really did not have I didn't hit the wall. I didn't have a big slowdown. It wasn't horrible in the last 10K. So just to real quick lay out my race, I wanted to go out 6:25s for the first 10K. It's very hard to hold back. You're pumped up, you're rested, you're well trained, you're all carbo loaded. Obviously got terrible night's sleep, was up at 4 in the morning just to get to the race on time. So, one night of bad sleep isn't going to kill you, but it was more like hitting 6:18, 6:23, 6:24s in that first 10K. So I think I averaged 6:23. Then what I wanted to do was just hold 6:20s through most of the race, and I was pretty good with doing that. The course was a little undulating. There were definitely hills in there. Nothing huge, nothing like Boston, the Newton Hills of Boston, Heartbreak Hill, nothing like that. Nothing even like New York City, where you have all these big bridges, 59th Street Bridge, and all these long inclines that can surprise you, but that can take a lot out of you. This was just some rolling, undulating terrain. Sometimes it, was nice downhill stuff that would help get you, make it a touch easier. Sometimes it was stuff late in the race, 20 miles plus, where you're going uphill and you really don't want to be going uphill. But, definitely a little bit of hills, nothing crazy. As far as the race experience, the Expo was probably what you would expect from a medium-sized race. I mean, when I say medium, 30,000 runners. I think I finished 126th, so I'm happy with that. But the Expo was nothing great. It wasn't like Boston, but went in. They need a little more signage so you know where to pick up your bib, your bag, your race shirt. But nothing horrible. Got that kind of in and out. Race morning, I got to say, you're getting to the race, to the staging area, Athletes Village, whatever you want to call it. I guess I'm used to Boston, where it's, the sun is up and the race starts at 10 a.m. for us. Whereas the sun was not even close to rising when I was entering the Athletes Village at 5:30 in the morning. And it was pitch black, and there were not a lot of lights. They really need to get some type of system to shed some more light on there, especially that it's in a park. It was muddy from, thousands of runners the day before doing a half marathon. It snowed a little bit on Thursday. It was just a little bit of controlled chaos. By the time I was ready to check my bags, and you can check, that's one nice thing. It's a little different from Boston. You can wear clothes there, check them in the bag, put them in baggage check, and then expect to get that very soon after your race and stay warm, which was nice change from Boston. But that was very unorderly, I gotta say. It was 15 minutes to race time, and I was still online waiting for baggage check, to the point where I just had to say, I'm sorry to the people in front of me, and I cut off easily 15 people and kind of threw my bag and said, I gotta go, I'm sorry. They kind of seemed to understand. There was a lot of frustration from runners around me that had the same. I was in Maroon Corral, which was basically Corral 1. And And then to get over to the starting line, I figure, all right, I got 10 minutes. I should be in my corral now. So I thought maybe I'll take this as a little light jog, get the blood flowing, get the heart rate up slightly, get some, start creating some heat. But it ended up just being kind of like get to the starting line, and we were weaving in and out of hundreds of people. I'm seeing signs for the paces that say 340 pace group, 330 pace group. Now I knew I had wanted to run roughly around a 248 yesterday, so seeing signs 8 minutes now before the race of 330, and I'm thinking, oof, I gotta still weave through all these people, and it wasn't just me; it was many runners. And I kept saying, "Are you in the Maroon Corral? Are you in the Maroon Corral?" And we were all like frustrated trying to get there. We finally get there, and I actually lined up right next to one of my training partners, Matt. I said, "Oh, good seeing you." And I was right at the line, toes at the line. So if you see my gun time and my chip time, they're like seconds off. But 2:49:30, I guess, is my official time. I'm very happy with that. And I look over to my left, and there's people who were in the wrong corral that obviously should have been back. So there was not a lot of control with that. Look, I had a great race. Can't complain too much. The fans were awesome. Philly fans were really cool. I was kind of told it was going to be parts where, there's in the city, especially in the center city center, there's going to be tons of fans, but then you're going to get into parts that are very quiet. It really wasn't like that. The fans were great. Especially there's an out and back later in the race around miles maybe 17 through 25. It was a demanding part of the race. It always will be in any race, but the fans were helpful. They were, a lot of spirit, a lot of pumping you up. I saw some people I know from around where I live. That was a lot of fun. It was unexpected. They saw me, we made eye contact. It would go PK. That definitely lifted my spirits. So, if you cheered for me and you're watching this, thank you. It definitely did help. There's a lot of tangents. That's one. I hope I'm not jumping too much, but there's a lot of tangents in this race. If you know me and the way I race, I'm big into taking those tangents. I still ended up with, I want to say like 26.4 instead of 26.2. That's, going to be in any marathon. There's going to be that little extra. I'm not saying that the marathon's off. Absolutely not. I do believe it's certified 26.2. You just nobody wants to run. That's already enough mileage for the day. So you don't want to run more than necessary. So try and take those tangents. One tip that one of my friends, actually, I saw him at the expo, and he gave me, it was a great tip for this race in particular, is to take the GPS off of automatic every mile, where it automatically goes off. Because there was a few sections where there were taller buildings, and the GPS, I guess I must have lost a signal for a second, but when I was literally going by each clock, and there's a clock at every mile, I was just clicking lap, and that ensured that I was actually getting a mile. Some of them were 0.99, some of them were 1.01, but I was hitting all my targets right on. The very last 10K of the race, so I said, all right, I still have it, so now let's see what I can do. Let's absolutely maintain 620s. And really the goal was to try and hit 615s. And all my workouts leading up to this race, I was able to finish fast, 615s, 610s, 608s, finishing 21, 22 milers in those times. So I said, I can do this. But, race day is a different beast. And I hit really my two worst miles were 24 and 25. And I think I hit 635. Nothing horrible. There was no wall. There was no, I think I'm going to have to walk. No, I was still racing. My last mile was like, give it everything. You got, with that extra distance plus the 0.2, you got maybe 7 more minutes of this. You got to gut it out, and you're going to get a nice PR. You're going to get under 250. So I think I got like a 628 for that last mile, and then just giving it everything I got. Once I hit mile 26, I looked at my watch this morning. It was 6:02 pace. That was actually almost 0.4 with the extra distance. So overall, just to sum things up, I know this has gone for a little long. I would give Philly, I recommend it. If you need a big city race and you're used to Boston and New York, it's not a huge difference. You need that crowd support. I really get pumped off that crowd support, you'll get it here. If you're looking for a flat course, this is not a flat course. If you're looking for a fast course, I do believe it's a fast course. I PR'd. It's certainly faster than Boston, certainly faster than New York. Really, my only issue was just, it was a little disorderly in the morning, but it's race day. We all have these nerves. We all, train for months, and, 10 minutes extra online here or there, and that happens, once or twice. That it can get a little nerve-wracking. Look, I PR'd 249. I think, like I said already, 126th place of the 30,000 people. Go do Philly. I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section below. So please, I really do read them. I'll try and respond. Leave a comment. I want to hear if you ran it, what you thought. Am I right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? How you did? If you can, like and subscribe to my channel and to this video. And I'll be posting more things. I've been more active on YouTube over the last few months than I have. There was a lull there. And this was my first video race recap in a long time, probably since Boston 2012 or 2013. So yeah, great day overall, and good luck with your running. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.